Hello everyone, this is Paul from the Pin Academy, and still we're continuing with our weekly series of implementing whatever we have taught you on this channel before we can add on new topics. So without wasting time, let's just get into it. So as usual, if you've been following us, we start from the monthly time frame to obtain direction. Even if you're not using the monthly time frame, you can choose any other time frame for direction, but make sure you first get direction, you get structure, then you can go into the entry time frames. Without that, you're always going to get into the emotional traps of the liquidity provider. So always start with the direction, structure, and entry. So our direction, we get it from the monthly time frame. So when we come to the monthly time frame, in the previous video, in case you watch it, just watch one of the previous videos. I talked about this level here as the market needs to come back and retest this area here, because the market broke it to the upside and we didn't have a proper retest. This one here, there was a retest but not a proper retest, so we needed to come back and retest this area here. So meaning we need to come down before pushing upwards. When we come down to the weekly time frame, my network is being a bit slow. It's not loading very fast. So when we come down to the weekly time frame, what do we observe? We do observe that the market gave us an impulsive move here. This is an impulse plus even an M. So after an impulse, what do we expect? We expect a retracement, then a push downwards, right? So that's exactly what the market did. Impulse, correction, so now we need to push downwards. So also weekly is agreeing exactly with the monthly time frame. Now when we go down to the daily time frame, what do we observe? Now someone may be wondering, where do I get my structure from? Is it weekly or daily? Because you're using monthly, weekly, and daily. I'm using weekly and daily because daily is for intraday and weekly is for swingers. So I don't know what type of trader you are, but you can choose depending on the structure that you've seen, either in weekly or daily. If you're a swinger, use the structure I've showed you in weekly. If you're an intraday trader, use the structure I've showed you in the daily time frame. So when you come down to daily, we can clearly observe the market broke this structure downwards, but also we had another structure the market broke here that was not tested. So as the market approaches these areas, which it has already done so, the market has already given us a push down. Now it has retested into these areas here. So depending on how the market changes trend here, we could expect the market to proceed downwards. So this is what we do expect from the bigger time frames. But let's clearly observe what is happening in the entry time frames like H4. Our entry time frames as AP Academy, we have H4 and we have H1. So if you look at H4, the market is still aggressively upward. So we needed to create some sort of structure before let it lose momentum. Shows us that it has created maybe a lower high. When it has broken it below, then we can be looking for selling opportunities downwards. But do not forget that we have a structure not tested down here, so it could actually react here when the market approaches there. When it is broken, another entry opportunity could be at that same area there. So in entry time frame, we are still having a more momentum upward. So we wait for the market to create for us a change of trend by maybe giving us a lower high. This is a high. We need a lower high here. When the market starts trending downwards, then we can jump in and join the sell move downwards up to this area here. That is for USDCAD. Now let's take another example that we're going to use to implement the same things that we have done. Let's use an example of gold. Most of you trade gold. Okay, we can talk about GBPUSD. Let's talk about GBPUSD also. So as usual, we have to start from the monthly time frame. Now, when we look at the monthly time frame, I've been talking about GBPUSD for a number of times. So currently we are above this area here. I talked about it after breaking here. I talked about how we needed to retest here and then we push up to test which area? To test this area here. And also we marked this area here, if you guys recall, which kind we're approaching. Also, I did mark this area as an area that was not tested, right? Now, when you go down to weekly, what do we spot? Weekly is a bit more clearer. We have a market that is simply trending upwards, a clear uptrend, right? The only problem we do have as traders is that we want to implement or to want to analyze in small time frames. You will not see things clearly, right? So we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So after a higher high has been made, what do we expect? A retracement, then we continue higher, or we could make a double top or a lower high. But we need to retrace, then we can push up, right? So when we spot here, we can clearly see that the market closed above this area. This was our first target. You can watch the previous video that we uploaded here. So the market can retrace this to this area, but also alternatively, we have a confluence. What confluence do we have? This is an impulsive move. The market broke this turning point, and currently closed above this. Or if you don't agree with this point, you can say the market broke this turning point and also closed above this turning point, still making it an impulsive move. So I'll bring my Fibonacci from down here up to up here. And you can clearly see that we have also this area here that the market could easily manipulate up to this area here, right? So actually I'll remove this area. I can just remove this rectangle and leave the line. So the market will either retest this point or it will come deeper into that correction before we can finish our move upwards into this area or into this, either into this area or into this area here. Are you getting it? So this is what we see in weekly. What about when we go down to daily? Does daily agree? Also in daily, we do have a market that gave us an impulse, weak momentum correction, again, an impulse. So if there is an impulse, what do we want to see? We want to see a correction, which the market is clearly making. So if you want, you can also bring in a Fibonacci retracement tool from here up here, then you can get your levels as an intraday trader. So we have this level here, from here up to up here. You can clearly see also the Fibonacci retracement levels that I told you are still in the same area. So there are higher chances the market could actually give us a push into this blue zone or even slightly above it. Then we can observe a change of trend, then we push downwards. But if you trade reversals, I think right now you should be actually into the sell trade. Why do I say that? Because when you go to the entry time frames, let's just check it here. You can clearly see the market did give us a second phase that actually someone would have taken a trade at. Which second phase is that? This is the second phase. The market first gave us a change of trend around here with all these rejections, and also this candlestick here gave us an entry opportunity that gave us, if you're doing an intraday or you trade the reversals, these are already a number of pips that you should already be in. But if you're a continuation trader like I am, I like trading continuation trading. The market, we want to observe how the market pushes down here while it's making lower lows and lower highs. So when it approaches this area and ceases to make lower lows and lower highs and starts making higher highs and higher lows, then we can start looking for trades to take buys as a continuation up to those levels that we have marked up there. That is for GBPUSD. I hope you guys are seeing exactly how we do implement these concepts that we have taught you on this channel. There's nothing different that we do use, and all the concepts are as simple as you see them being implemented here. Let's look at another example that actually you can use. Another example that I can use is actually, let's look at EuroUSD, because also it's one that is traded a lot by many traders. As usual, we start from the monthly time frame. Also, EuroUSD, I've talked about it a number of times. I talked about EuroUSD coming to this area here, which currently it has approached. I also talked about if this level is broken, we could easily come into this zone here because it had an improper retest, right? Now, when we go down to the monthly time, sorry, the weekly time frame, what do we observe? In the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that the market broke above this area here. The market created this high, came down, created a low, equal highs here, came back, created a higher low. You can see this. Went up, created another higher low, giving us this type of W. We have 3 types of Ws. The video is there about shapes. I'm going to attach it so that you can watch it just somewhere up there in the top right corner. We have the double bottom W. We have a W that gives us a higher low. Then we have a W that gives us a lower low and makes a W. So currently we are experiencing this one here. Let me just clear this so that you can see. We have this type of W here. When a W is made, what we expect? A correction, then a push upwards. Since this is a major resistance area, we expect at least the market to give us a retest into this area. Even if we are to break, we break it, then a retest again, and we can finish the moves, right? But or even if they don't break above this, even if it just comes and gives us a correction here, depending on what has been given us, if there's a structure, it may give us double tops, or if there's a structure, it may give us a lower high before we can push downwards. But the best alternative and the best retest to finish all the waves and the retest of all the levels that the market had not tested in bigger time frames, at least the market should give us this retest into this area before we can start a downtrend. That would be the perfect one. But of course, we do not control the market, so we just follow what it gives us. For now, we need to focus so much on the market retesting this area here so that it can give us a continuation upwards. We need a retest into this area, a weak momentum retest, and we push up. That's monthly and weekly communicating the same thing. What about daily? What do we observe in the daily time frame? In the daily time frame also, we do have a market breaking this previous resistance area. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Then we have a push up, weak correction, and aggressive movement. So when there's an aggressive movement or impulsive movement, what do we want to see? We want to see the market giving us a retest into this area here. So I'll just bring out the fib. You can see the fib is aligning perfectly with these areas here of resistance, so, which has now become a correction area. So we need the market to give us a correction down here before we can either get double tops, lower high, or a higher high to the other zone that we looked at up there. So this is what we do have for EuroUSD. Let's go into lower time frames a bit so that we can make much more sense out of it. Lower time frames, we've noted those who trade the reversals, no entry yet has been given to us. Personally, I'm a big fan of continuation because it's a bit much more easier to be spotted. So we want to see how the market gives us a reversal. So far it has given us a triple top. If a neckline is broken and a weak retest, so we can have a push into this area here before we can continue upwards. So if you trade the reversals, you could wait for a change of trend here, which has not yet happened, or you can simply just wait for the market to drop into this area and then you continue with it up, either for a double top or a lower high, so that it can give us the finish of the wave, right? So that is it. I really hope you guys are following up with this series whereby we're implementing what we taught you before, so that we can continue with new topics that could help you improve on your consistency in trading. So if this really made much more sense to you and you really learned something out of it, you also learned how to implement, because when we're just replaying, it may seem easier, but I would like us to do these breakdowns in actual real-time current price movement so that you can see how it will play out, if really what we are teaching you guys helps or not, right? You guys will be the ones to be trading that side. We also trade these same exact things that we share with you guys. So even if we don't show you guys results, there's no need for that. The question is, are you getting something out of it? Are you learning? Is it really actually working for you, right? Of course, no one would be wasting time to share with you what does not work or what they have not really tested for a number of good years, right? So that is it. If it made sense, give us that likes button or give us the thumbs up. And if it was your first time coming across the channel, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss such a video.